All right, today we're diving deep into one of the most famous cities on the entire planet, London. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's just stop and think for a second. What really makes a city world famous? Like, what's the secret recipe? Is it its history, stretching back thousands of years? Maybe it's the iconic buildings you always see in movies. Or is it just the people, the millions of people who call it home?
Well, here's the thing about London. The answer is all of the above, and then some. So let's get into it.
Okay, first things first. Let's get our bearings. Where is London, and what's so special about its location? Well, it turns out it all starts with a river.
So London is the capital of England and the UK, tucked away in the southeast of Great Britain. But the key here, the really important part, is that it was built right on the River Thames. Think about it. That was a total game changer. The land was flat, so it was easy to build and expand, and the river was like a highway to the sea.
And wow, did it grow. Today, London sprawls across a massive 607 square miles. To put that in perspective, that is a huge area for a city.
Okay, so we've got the where and the how big. But what about the how? How did this ancient little settlement balloon into the modern powerhouse we know today?
To figure that out, we have to become historians for a minute and peel back the layers. You see, the London of today is literally built on top of centuries and centuries of incredible history. So let's rewind way back. We're talking nearly 2,000 years ago. The Romans showed up, founded a settlement, and gave it a name, Londinium. And that, right there, is where the story of London kicks off.
Now, the city's story has had some seriously dramatic plot twists. You've got the Great Fire of London in 1666, a massive disaster that actually led to the city being rebuilt stronger, with stone instead of wood. Then, boom, the 1800s hit. The Victorian era brought this huge explosion of growth, with factories and railways popping up everywhere. And of course, the city had to rise from the ashes again after World War II. Every single one of these moments shaped the city we see today.
And all that history has created one of the most famous skylines on Earth. So let's take a tour of some of those iconic landmarks that really define the city.
And where better to start than the river that started it all. The Thames isn't just some water flowing through the city, it's its lifeblood, its main artery. And so many of London's most famous sites are packed right along its banks.
I mean, just from the river alone, you can see a ton. You've got the Houses of Parliament, the super old Tower of London, which was both a palace and a prison. How cool is that? Then there's the amazing Tower Bridge that actually opens up for tall ships. And you can't miss the newer stuff, like the giant observation wheel, the London Eye, or the timeless dome of St. Paul's Cathedral.
Oh, and here's a great bit of trivia for you. Everybody knows Big Ben, right? Wrong. Big Ben is actually the nickname for the giant bell inside the clock tower. The tower itself, its real name is the Elizabeth Tower. Bet you didn't know that.
Okay, so we've looked at the famous buildings, but a city isn't just a museum of stone and glass, right? It's alive. So let's talk about how millions of people actually live and get around in this bustling metropolis.
Just getting from A to B in London is an adventure. All that explosive growth back in the Victorian era forced them to build the Underground, or as everyone calls it, the Tube. It's one of the oldest subway systems in the world. Throw in those classic red double-decker buses, and you've got the London you see in pictures. But these days, to beat the traffic, a lot of people just hop on a bike or walk.
All right, for a city that's so massive and constantly on the move, this next fact is probably going to surprise you. Believe it or not, London is considered one of the greenest major cities in the world. And here's why. The city is packed with these huge, beautiful parks. People call them the city's green lungs. You've got Hyde Park, where you can go boating on the lake, Regent's Park, which has a whole zoo inside it, and even St. James's Park, which is famous for its resident pelicans. These aren't just patches of grass. They're essential escape pods from the city buzz. But what's the real secret ingredient to London's incredible energy? It's the people. It has to be. So let's dive into the culture that makes this city just so vibrant. Just look at this number, 300. Over 300 different languages are spoken in London. That is mind-blowing. It's not just an international city. It's a truly global one, where you can meet people from pretty much anywhere. So when you have that many cultures all living in one place, it leads to a very, very important question. What's on the menu?
As you'd expect, the food scene is just as diverse as its people. You can find all the traditional British stuff, fish and chips, a good Sunday roast, but you can also find amazing food from literally every single continent. And then you have those wonderfully British traditions like afternoon tea.
And it's not just about the food. Culturally, London is a powerhouse. Sports are a massive deal. Football is king, but you also have cricket and the famous Wimbledon tennis tournament. It's home to some of the world's best museums, and get this, a lot of them are totally free to get into. The West End is legendary for its plays and musicals, and shopping? You can go from fancy department stores to cool, quirky street markets. Seriously, you can never be bored here.
So there you have it, a city founded by the Romans, reshaped by a great fire, and now powered by the energy of people from all over the globe. It's this incredible mix of ancient history and buzzing modern life. Which really just leaves one question for you. If you were there right now, what part would you explore first?